Welcome back to Himeyama for another top level game. On the West Hill this side we have Kiljardi in the blue as Jeanne, and on the East Hill in the purple we have our mystery player from Germany who is the Ayyubids. We're going to be calling Mr. Purple. Now this guy is top 6 on the ladder at the moment. If you know who this is, then let me know. I couldn't find any details of exactly which top level player this is, but I'm expecting some super strong gameplay. And Kiljardi you will have seen in lots of videos. He is I think 33 on the ladder at time of recording, so this is going to be some really great stuff. Now let's take a look at their scouting, and this matchup I think is particularly interesting because you don't really see either of these civilizations massively on the ladder at the moment. I would say neither of them are really the flavor of the month. Oh, sheep heist. Nice, nicking that little sheep. That's the danger of leaving them going back to the base so far away. But Jeanne and Ayyubids are not the most popular of civs at the moment, but I think people are starting to cook with them because they're, when you see civs on the ladder that you don't see very often, it's a little bit harder to deal with them, whereas when you're going up against the ones that you play all the time, we're looking at you, English, then you kind of have a rough idea of what you should be doing. Now, it's interesting, Kiljardi has gone for the water in the middle. You don't always see this, but this is going to get his food eco going really nicely, but it will slow down his feudal age. So those feudal knights are going to be a little bit slower. But against the Ayyubids, we might be seeing something a little bit different, because obviously the Ayyubids can get the camels, which can deal with those knights much more easily. And we can see here that Mr. Purple is doing a very aggressive scouting path here. Is he going to see that sheep? Is he going to notice it? Oh, double sheep around Kiljardi's base. And oh, there's 3 sheep there. This is a nice little pickup for him when he was very light on the sheep, and he's already had 1 stolen from him. So he's now catching up. I like this very aggressive scouting path. Now, he hasn't seen the dock. Oh, really unlucky there. So it looks like he went past there just before the dock went up. Obviously, we can't always see exactly what each player is seeing because of the caster mode, but we'll just forget about that for now. So let's take a little look. The Ayyubids obviously doesn't pop up here, so we need to make sure we keep an eye, and he's going for the advancement wing. So this is going to cost him 20% less and 250 less and 25% less time to age up. This is a strange one to go for, I think, because you don't get a huge advantage. Obviously, Kiljardi's going to be a little bit slower because he's going for fishing. So unless we're going for a very early push, this is not the wing that you often see Ayyubid players going for. So I'm interested to see what he's planning on doing with this one. Will that extra 20% of time give him the bonus back? I'm not quite sure. But if we take a look over, we can see Jeanne d'Arc with all the other villagers mining up that gold very heavily because the food income is going to be coming from these fishy boys over here. So sticking with the 3 fishing boats, which I think is a good idea because there's not a huge amount of fish on here. There's 500 in each of these, so 2,000, but they'll very quickly eat that up. You can see they're already halfway done with that. Now, the barracks is up. Spearman coming out straight away and going into Spearman Archer. So no camels, which I thought you would expect to get that mobility. So it looks like it's going to be infantry, probably to deny this food in the center. But we can already see over here, School of Cavalry is going up and a huge amount of sheep. There we go, 12 sheep going back to the I was going to say the French base. I guess it's technically French. Going back to Jeanne's base. And I'll also be interested to see which level that they choose to go for with Jeanne d'Arc, because obviously she has the 2 abilities. We can go for the ranger one where she gets that magic arrow ability, or the woman at arms, should I say, where she gets the that massive sort of swirl jump ability. But here we go. So the spearmen coming out trying to deny these fishing boats, but they are managing to heal up as well, so it's going to take a little bit of time to take that down. Now Ayyubids do also get siege engineering for free, just like Abbasid, so they could ram this dock down fairly easily. But Kiljardi doing a nice little bit of micro, so that fishing boat is sitting inside the dock now, nice and safe, and slowly healing up. But these units are coming across nice and quickly, and the spearman numbers are going to start getting quite scary when these knights pop out, because 5 or 6 of these spears are going to be able to deal with one of those knights very easily. the fishing boats there. This is the fishing micro that you often get to see on this map. There's no point really making that many fishing boats, but we do see a galley coming out which is going to be able to defend, because it's got these archers. They'll get the bonus damage against the spears, so he's going to try and see if he can burn down that dock before it comes out. But we can see the loading bar. It's definitely going to be popping out before he gets there, and running his scout away with those sheep before that comes out. Kiljardi now going to have a counter to these spears. Look at the damage these... Oh, that's a big hit on those spearmen, and it looks like that dock is going to be staying up. No rams in queue and not enough wood for it. We do have a knight on the field. There we go. So he's going to be popping out, and Jeanne d'Arc is still a peasant, so going to be building something to try and get that final age up, because you need to get that experience as quickly as you possibly can. Now we can see here that the spears are just missing the knight, so now this royal knight is going to have the play of the field and be able to go and cause a little bit of trouble over in the Ayyubid base when he's finished clearing up the wildlife over here. So there we go. So Jeanne d'Arc has gone for the hunter. There we go. So that's the divine arrow ability that we've unlocked. So now it's going to be archers, and we've got royal knights as well, which is the classic French play. I do think the woman at arms is quite interesting, especially when your opponent's going heavily into spears, because then you do get the ability that really highly damages spears, but I guess archers do the job just as well. We can see a huge amount of units back over at the Ayyubid base now, building a ram in their base to try and get the dock down. Interesting choice. I'd probably say you could just build it behind this little wood line over here and no one would notice, but the knight, even with all those units, still getting in and getting a kill. So one villager down each now. So I'm not sure when when Kiljardi's one went down. Maybe it was from the wildlife, but we can see Jeanne d'Arc is moving out, going to the boar to try and get some more experience, because I think she gets about 50 experience from that as well. Knight on the backside is coming in to try and cause some drama, but they've moved off the berries to a safe position on the sheep. Here we go. So the boar about to go down, taking a lot of damage. Only 25, because that, of course, that was nerfed in a recent patch as well. So the knight is circling around, getting chased off by the spears, and we've got a bit of a clown car situation. 16 units inside the ram, and this galley is not going to be able to do anything to this ram. So they're going to have to be really careful. Oh, spears popping out. Oh, nice little defense there, but another knight on the backside. Some micro there from Kiljardi, getting another villager down on the backside as the clown car is moving its way slowly and surely towards the dock. But JD is having none of this, and she's heading her way over to try and put a stop to this nonsense. We can see the little blue dots on the minimap circling Mr. Purple's base, but one of them is trying to take out that ram. Are we going to see a pop out? And oh, one-shotting that knight is crazy. So here we go. Now getting another knight. Oh, not quite. So this is where the micro is going to be quite important, but that dock is going to go down. One more hit, I think, and that's going to be taking it out. Almost. It's on fire. Is it going? 8. And this is where now they're going to be feeding XP to JD. Every one of these units that goes down is going to be 8 experience that's going to help her get to her level 3, which is not what you want to be seeing. Spears turning around trying to get the knight, getting a little pick off, but still more units going down. And for JD, it's all about farming that experience. And look at all these low health boys. They need to get home very, very quickly, because these archers are going to be very, very dangerous. Now, the fishing boats are just going to be sitting there for the time being, but there is a dock going to be placed, and all of these units trying to get back to safety, but JD doing a really good job of getting a little bit of damage here and there. All of the units garrisoning, but now this is where you've got to keep these alive, otherwise it's really going to feed into JD. This is, and also the idle economy jumping into the TC, it's going to be doing damage, but you've got no food. This is where the fishing boats are going to start paying off again, because that dock's going to come back up and they're out on the food elsewhere. So this is where JD's starting to look a little bit scary. A couple of extra villagers on the field, or eco units with those ships. But this little force here of spears and archers is pretty strong, and if the knights get caught out of position like this, they could see some real damage. But JD circling around trying to find some units, but knight, oh, getting caught out. Nice little pick up there from Mr. Purple. And I wish I knew who it was, but it's kind of fun. I feel like we're playing Cluedo, where Mr. Purple with the spears on the hill. And another archer going down, seeing that little experience pop up. And this is where Kiljardi really needs to be target firing these low health units to get as much experience as possible, because once she levels up, that's where she's going to then get a massive power spike. See, there we go. Look at this, one-shotting all of those low health spears and archers and doing a huge amount of damage. And every single one of those feeding her all of that experience that she needs. Some horsemen coming in on the backside. I think this is a nice little switch up, but that scout going down as well. Only 7 from a scout. Interesting. I didn't realize the experience was different there. But looking at this, then the units are trying to stay in the base, and even with the lack of mobility on these archers, they're actually doing a huge amount of damage. And I didn't expect the hunter to be so strong in this case, but she's still waiting for the charge of that divine arrow. And if we switch over, make sure we've got the right thing. She spent all 4 of those, and she's spent the Concecrate on the TC. So now those villagers only cost 37 food, so that's going to be really helping her food economy. And we've got Concecrate on the School of Cavalry as well, so those knights are only costing 100 food over there as well. So this is where JD's going to be able to start pumping out these units like mad. Also, Mr. Purple's been forced out onto the berries because he's run out of food, and the knight's getting another villager, so these little pickoffs are really starting to hurt the Ayyubid economy, but still looking pretty strong. Units fairly even, but this little archer mass is going to still do damage, and yeah, you can almost afford as JD to lose a couple of these units if you can pick off a load of the Ayyubids. But here we go, horses trying to get on, extra XP from the horses as well, so target firing those down. But look at every single shot, these are coming up, and JD has gone down. There we go. So this is really nice from Mr. Purple. Once you get JD down, you don't have to worry about feeding experience, and you can really go for it. Obviously playing a little bit defensively here, worried about that knight mass that is starting to build and trying to wall off. Now, Himeyama, if you're anything like me, it's not my favorite map. It's very, very open before you can get some of these early walls, and actually Mr. Purple's pretty lucky with this spawn that it's so close to the edge. But all of your starting resources are completely open, like your stone over here is not even inside TC range. And if we look over at Kiljardi's base, every single thing is exposed. But once you can get a few little walls up like this, if you're lucky with the woodline spawns, then you can kind of secure a little bit. So, you know, even one over here, that would make this back area a little bit safer. But obviously, JD not going for walls, and also very unlucky with the wood spawns, literally in the middle of nowhere. But she has gone out onto the boar, so that food income is going to be shooting through the roof, especially with the lower knight and villager costs as well. So we can see here a couple of units trying to get some raids on, but JD defending the base, Kiljardi keeping an eye on all of those units. Then Jeanne is back on the field. Here she goes running out into the combat as the archers chase down that horseman, trying to find the fight. And look at this mass now all grouping up. We've got 5 royal knights and 25 archers and building. So we can see here that Mr. Purple's trying to build up on the back line, make sure that he can get these units. A couple of these horses definitely could be checking out this external food. The boar and the deer over here, and the boar up there. But Kiljardi's ready. He's got a tower up, but he does have 8 villagers on the boar, so that's going to mean that you know, only a couple of them can get in that tower, so he could find some extra damage there as well. We can see some military techs coming through for Mr. Purple, as well as a couple of military and eco techs coming through for Kiljardi, so that's going to be helping his economy even more. Not going for the food ones, but I imagine if we take a little quick look here, we've got survival techniques, so that's all that you need at this stage, and wheelbarrow is going to give him that nice couple of % boost to his economy. But as we can see, the food is starting to build up, and it looks like we might be seeing a macro for castle while he does this big push. But this is where you need to keep your units together. Those archers on the back line are just a little bit out of position, and so the spears are going to get caught out. And this is against any knight civ. You've got to be really careful to keep your spears alive, because as soon as they go down, the knights can just overrun you. But these archer numbers are looking very, very scary. Even with the horsemen I don't think that Mr. Purple has enough. We can see here, let's follow the action as they're running in. Nice bit of kiting here from Kiljardi. Knights coming in to block the front line, but JD has gone down, sniped out by those Ayyubid archers once again. But now this is where Mr. Purple has got to be careful and trying to whittle down these units. Look at all these low health archers. If he can target fire a couple of those and get a couple of these knights out, that's going to be a lot better for him. But if we take a look, 42 to 37, and Kiljardi's looking at pushing that position as the villagers have finished off that food and are now having to go to another external source. Here we go, archers focusing on those spears, every single shot. There we go. Kiljardi doing an amazing job of target firing all of those low health units. Even in the massive blob there, he's still getting a huge amount, whereas Mr. Purple, look at these, hitting lots of different ones, and if he could take out those, there'd be 5 less in that mass, which at this stage would make a huge difference. But on the backside, we have the guild hall going up. So this is where it generates the resources over time, and then you can basically take them take them out and boost your economy. So you can use it for that farm transition, you can just boost it for your food, and obviously with that Concecrate, we've now got basically all of the important JD units for much cheaper food wise. So this is going to really help. But a huge amount on gold is going to allow JD to get all of those upgrades as well. Now, JD doing what, Kiljardi doing what all of those top level players actually do, and not what you see a lot of people like me doing, is going back to defend as you age up and not deciding to try and push the base and throw your whole army away when you hit the castle age. There we go. But now Mr. Purple is going to see that alert, and he's going to know that Kiljardi has been aging up. One of those knights getting caught out there, defending these berries, trying to get that food income and building up more units. But this is where the tech advantage is going to come in for Kiljardi. We've got the veteran royal knights coming in, veteran archers, and we've got cantled saddles as well that's going to allow that charge to do that little extra damage. But the unit you don't want to be seeing is the Arbitrier. It's super strong, best crossbow in the game, and at the moment crossbows are super strong in the current meta. So this is going to, even though there are no heavy units, they're just so strong. As the French and as JD, you will just be making them regardless, because, and especially with their Pavis ability, if we take a little look, if we can find one of those boys, here we go. Let's zoom in and follow him as we look at the Pavis. So this is where it activates, and it gives you an extra 1 range and 5 ranged armor. So especially against the archer mass that Mr. Purple is building, this is going to be amazing. And can't really do the kiting that you would do elsewhere, but it looks like Kiljardi's pushing in now that his veteran upgrades are coming in, and that archer mass is getting caught out by the horsemen, doing a huge amount of damage. But JD's just leveled up on the backside, now level 3 on her white stallion, as the spears are trying to chase down the champions, but the archers are doing a huge job here getting rid of those horsemen, and the spears are just going to keep getting caught out of position. Definitely. Now this is where Mr. Purple knows what he's doing, focus firing the archers, because once she gets to level 3, then she you don't always want to target fire her, because then as soon as she comes back on the field, then she gets another one of those cool champion abilities. So that's definitely something to be aware of. But the horsemen are drip feeding them into the archers. That's just giving JD even more experience, and the horsemen are getting caught out. You definitely want to get all of those together, bunched up. But we can see now the units going down for JD, but the royal knights coming in. Oh, nice little surround there on the archers coming in. Kiljardi microing, trying to keep off the spears, but look at the damage. Even the castle age upgrades are really making a difference, and those feudal spears are just not doing the damage that they need to do. The horsemen, the royal knights charging in now, trying to take out that mass, and this is where quality over quantity is going to save the day for Kiljardi. These amazing royal knights are coming in, and all of this external food, because Mr. Purple hasn't been able to secure any other food, whereas Kiljardi is still fishing away, living his best fishy life in the middle, and those royal knights just continuing to do huge damage. Is he going to pull off onto the villagers? No, focusing on the military, and JD on the backside continuing to get more and more experience, taking out those horsemen, and Mr. Purple calls it a day as the Castle Age JD takes them out. So what an amazing game. I hope you enjoyed this Conqueror level match, and I will see you next time for more Age of Empires action.